It is your boy Black Ronin, back on at it again with another banger and fire video for y'all's out here today. There, y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to sit on down and watch to the very end because I gotta cook on this one. Your boy is gotta cook because this is a very, very important topic, and I'm gonna need y'all gotta listen very, very closely. But guys, I plan on leaving the U.S. next year. Stacking up my money, and getting the heck up out of here as fast as possible. But I don't want to just solely rely off of YouTube and social media and just the internet to make my money. One thing that sucks about being here in America, when it comes down to business and money and stuff and trying to really, take yourself far, this is honestly the worst place to do it at, in my personal opinion. Because socially, man, like the media has really fear-mongered a lot of people to just be so isolated here. And I got another video coming on the whole isolation, living out here in America. But, most people don't know their neighbors. Most people don't even have a really good sense of community. But that's not the rest of the world out there. And this is why I say that we should, us as, travelers, people coming from all these different locations around the world, and we're going out here to either parts of Africa, Southeast Asia, wherever that we choose, and we're going to places that has real community, and people still do things the old-fashioned way. Cash is still king in a society. I think we should definitely look into other ways to make our money outside of the internet. So the title of this video, guys, top 3 ways to make money off the internet as a passport bro, expat. Let's go on into it, guys, because this needs to be said. I don't hear nobody on the internet really speaking like this. But coming in at number 3, selling food. Now, first thing I do want to make clear, guys, when it comes down to making money, off the internet, definitely check with, obviously, the government and, just places where you're getting your visas and all that stuff. Like immigration. Check with them and see what you can and can't do. But with a lot of these countries, guys, especially Southeast Asia, they're very relaxed and they want you to add into their economy. They rely off of tourism, foreigners, to really support, a lot of their economics. So, if you can add more to that, that they really do want that. And it's not going to be a bunch of big hoops and hurdles like here in America, where you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to meet this type of requirement, that requirement. Oh, you want to get a business loan? Oh, you're going to need this particular credit score. So versus outside the US, it ain't like that, so. But yeah, guys, selling food, because I was looking at places like I've been hearing a lot of people on the internet, they've been comparing the food in Thailand versus the Philippines. And a lot of people say that, Thailand food is astronomically better than the Philippines. That's a way to make money right there. So if you were to go to the Philippines and you start to go out there and sell food, that's a great idea, especially if you're going around, you're all around, what's the area? Manila, and all the major cities. And you're like, there's not a lot of people that know how to make certain type of foods that I'm used to in America. Let me try to make that and see will it sell, because people may be like, "Ooh, he's American. I ain't never had a Philly cheesesteak." I mean, obviously, well, I'm not gonna say obviously because I don't know what all types of food they got out there, but you never know. Like the average Filipino hasn't probably even seen or heard of a Philly cheesesteak. If you know how to throw down with that, hey, go ahead and try to make it. And you American, I guarantee it's gonna start selling. You're gonna have foreigners, from all over the world. You see some expat be like, "Bro, man, I miss this food so much," and you know how to make it. Heck yeah. So you can make money off the foreigners too, other expats. So food is definitely a great option. And like me, when it comes down to certain foods that I like, now this is my own signature type of recipe. I'll be damn, I'm finna give y'all this recipe, but it's called cinnamon sugar fried chicken Alfredo. I ain't gonna lie, I just yanked the shit out of thin air. Back in the day, I was cooking at my parents' house one day, and all I had in the cabinet to cook with, I had some pasta, I had some fried chicken in the freezer, and I had some the cinnamon sugar and a few other ingredients, which I'm not gonna say. Like I said, I'd be damn, I'm finna give y'all this recipe, but yeah, so I had those ingredients and I mixed it all together as I was cooking the Alfredo, and I was like, oh, hey, this pretty fire, this pretty busting. So I started cooking it more. I had bought it. I know, but I took it to my one job too. The cinnamon sugar fried chicken Alfredo. I actually made it two types of ways. I had the shrimp version, so the fried shrimp, the fried shrimp cinnamon sugar Alfredo, and the fried chicken cinnamon sugar Alfredo. So I had two different versions, and I brought them up to it was my old job back in the day. Brought it up there for a Christmas party. Everybody was like, at first when they heard about it, because I'm out here with the Mexicans, so I'm coming out here on some Florida shit, my type of cooking. So they was like, I don't know, this gonna be good, I don't know about this. And yeah, it's one of those foods that, yeah, it sound weird, but until you try it, and guess what, every Mexican that tried it out here, they love it. They like, bro, man, like can you cook more of this like every party, bro? Like, this is really busting. Like you balance out the flavors so good, so perfectly. Like, hey man, we want more of that. So it's just stuff like that. Like, you never know what could hit. Because let's be honest, guys, here in America, because of the lack of just community and anti-socialness, and then on top of that, the amount of money it takes to do business out here. It's very tough to do that, unless you're in sales for like back what I used to do, selling internet. And even that was up and down, with the economy and stuff. Like, nah, man, But yeah, I would definitely sell food. That's definitely the third, that's the first option you can do, is go out there and sell some food. Just make sure you do your research on the requirements. I'll probably ask around, but hey, if you got a lot of locals selling street food, like, it ain't no problem. You should be good as a foreigner going out there selling your own type of food. And heck, I feel like you'll attract expats, passport bros. You'll attract the locals, everybody. Heck, even the police might want to come by from you. You never know what to expect. So yeah, that's the first option right there, selling food. So got that option. Now, option number 2. Now, for me, guys, see, I do acting and stuff on the side, right? Been a while since, I've been up in the acting game, but, well, I shouldn't say a while, but, I finished up my TV show recently, Cassie Catches a Criminal. It should come out later on. I don't know when it's coming out. It might hit early next year. But, yeah, so I finished that, got some acting experience and all that stuff. And I definitely do want to get back into a talent agency. So now with agencies, you don't have to pay for the agency, at least here in America. I don't know about outside of America, but here in America, you don't have to actually pay for an agent, just for the agency at all. You're just paying for the acting classes, that's what you're paying for. And, that's how an agency make their money. So if I can take my talents and skills in a place like, let's say, the Philippines, or heck, even if I want to go model, that's still a great idea. I can do that over there for a fraction of the cost I would pay in America. And then with the state of Hollywood right now, man, I'm like, bro, you're literally cheating the system right now, because, like, bro, the cost. Because I was in an agency about twice. I was an agency. I was in my first agency back in Tampa, Florida, at the time. And that was expensive. I ain't going to lie. I was dropping like, dang, how much did I spend? Like $300-400 a month, on that. It might have been 300 and something, I think, a month I was spending on acting classes. So yeah, you're spending a lot of money on acting classes. So that sucks. Which, don't get me wrong, well, I shouldn't say it suck, because it is essential. But yeah, so you got that. And then that was the first time I was in like a part of an agency. Then the second time I was a part of an agency, I was a talent agent. So I was actually recruiting people and, signing on new talent and, being a part of that. So I was on the flip side. So I got to see how the inside work of the entertainment industry actually works. So I got to see both, like literally both sides of that. So that was pretty cool. So somebody like me with my skills and and all my experience in the industry, I can go out there to the Philippines. Then on top of that, I'm a light-skinned, handsome American. I walk out there. Say if I just want to just, act or just model or both, or heck, plus I got talent agent skills as well. I can do all three out there, and I know I'll probably do a lot more better in a place like the Philippines because, like I said before, when it comes down to people working together and, business, I feel like you can do better business outside of America than within America. Like it's a different mentality outside of America compared to here. So for me, I feel like it'll make a lot more sense. And with the state of Hollywood and stuff right now, they're branching out of, the normal typical California and places like that. They're actually outsourcing and going outside to all these different locations a lot more and more. And that's really going to be the new norm, So if you do happen to get cast in America, I wouldn't be surprised as like literally most actors, they're going to be shooting in places like Thailand, maybe the Philippines, all these other places because America is so pricey. And heck, even with the tariffs that recently hit for the Hollywood industry, if you cut down on the budget of making a film, you can still save a boatload if like by shooting outside of America and filmmaking and doing all that stuff with your cast and crew for a fraction of the cost you would pay in America by a long shot. The only thing that's fucking you is the dang on tariffs. But other than that, you're gonna be straight if you're very smart with the budget and you're not just going buku crazy like Disney. So, but yeah, so entertainment, getting into that's definitely a great option as well. So that easily gets the number 2 spot as well. And then coming in at number 1, guys. Now, number 1, I would have to say is land. Buy some land and you can start like farming, agriculture. This is a solid option because, for one, like I said, it's a lot cheaper outside of America. And if you're able to hire some Filipinos or some Thai people and you can buy a little section of land, because in some places you are allowed to buy land as a foreigner, especially in South Africa, but you're going to have to double check, with, like with basically, like the government and, immigration, all that stuff, like the places where you get your visas, seeing what you can and can't do. But if you are able to buy land, you need to jump on that because land ownership can really take you a long way, especially you're able to grow all the fruits and the vegetables. You can get those in the grocery stores, and that's a lot of money coming back to you. So, get into the agriculture, side of work as well, because that could really save a lot. That's a really solid option. Just having the fruits, vegetables, and able to grow everything. Like, seriously, guys, like get on top of that. And because when you compare it to real estate, like, don't get me wrong, like some of y'all be like, what about the real estate? Yes, but let's be honest. If you're a young person like myself, it ain't a lot of us balling like that to get into crazy real estate games. So I would just start with land, if you're able to do that. Or if you can't, you as a foreigner, you can't go out there and go physically buy the land yourself. Okay, cool. Let's say you meet a Thai girl, you trust her, or a Filipino girl, you happen to marry her, and let's say okay, cool, you as a foreigner, you can't go buy the land, but she can. You can give her the money and put it in her name, so technically, yeah, it's her business, but you can have a written agreement between y'all two, so that way, hey, the money get equally distribute, and stuff like that. But I wouldn't really be worried, too much if I'm out there in the Philippines, I'm married and stuff, like that's a different culture altogether. Like in America, like compared to the conniving and the, people crossing you, like don't get me wrong, that happens worldwide, but I'm so sharp with knowing who is on that type of time. Like it's almost a superpower at this point. It's if you cross me, like I literally got to give you a round of applause because like I'm even surprised. Like wow, you crossed me and you managed to do it without me noticing. Like that is so impressive. Like I literally got to applaud you because like I'm really really sharp like that. But yeah, so I'm not worried about getting crossed, out there overseas. Maybe in Thailand, yeah, but in the Philippines, nah, I ain't really too worried. But yeah, like yeah, got somebody out there I can trust, put in their name, and we just have a mutual agreement in terms of money, and I get my portion, you get your portion. We do it like that. So, but yeah, guys, just something to think about. Let me know what you guys think because I don't want to rely off the internet because don't get me wrong, like I definitely enjoy YouTube and making these videos, but I don't want to be bouncing back and forth from America. Now, don't get me wrong. If it comes down to it, if I got to go back to America, work a little bit more, make my money, okay, cool. I'll go ahead and do it. But at the same time, I really don't want to be bouncing around back and forth. I really don't want to do that. But if I got to, okay, cool. But yeah, but just something to think about, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this. Do you guys agree that we should be looking at ways to make money in these other countries off the internet? And which option did I mention that you guys think is the best? But let me know in the comment section below. It is your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. Y'all take it easy.